Hello, this is Gerald van Was. In this video I will explain some of the Hiragana letters that are combinations with the vowel U. And in the background you have my guiding theory of orientations in time and space of usually the Roman letters. The Roman letters can be associated with a perspective that you have just one focus before you, a timed focus in two positions, or a background position in this last background area. All the letters of the Roman letters are in a Pythagorean order or numerical order that can be derived to positions in one of these categories. The Chinese and Japanese script are all about timings. They all describe something that you can describe as, you have a person with a vision as an observant and you see something else, someone else, with a whole time schedule and a way how to behave towards it. All the letters and all the abstract forms that you can see there are you can derive them to positions in a time schedule. And the katakana letters are basically about a forward move and taking a step back position in the writing that is dominated there simply because you have to have the idea, okay, but it has to adapt to what we know already. The hiragana letters are positions that are a bit more stable, so they can be repeated. So we have a perspective in space, just like with the letter A, which we assume should and can be repeated also endlessly, actually, to make it work, to see if it works. If things work, you can repeat them elsewhere as well, from a different position as well, when something changed after a time as well. And we already explained in the previous video the letter A, which basically was also a foundation with a sense of repetition. So we see the time schedule so that we can see, is this foundation still viable, also to be repeated. That's the way how it is expressed and how this can be understood, how this letter can be understood. What's behind it, what the philosophy of it exists behind it. But in reality, it's of course so that the things that we know and that exist, they're not always really that stable, and there are parts that we might not be able to use very well or understand very well or repeat very well or repeat in its completeness because they changed and they fail for a while. The letter that expresses this failure, let's say, is the letter U, which is actually about a second focus that I have because something is different. You have, for instance, my vision and you with your vision, with you, your vision. It is a bit different. It's a bit off. How can I understand it? By simply following what I already know. But that is only a partial knowing, so it only follows parts, and that's what it will do. It will follow a part while another part does not work or is failing to be added, let's say. So it will not be repeated in a similar way as with an A. An A is like a number one, and you have another A is another number one. The U is can be expressed as a number two, but can also be expressed as something, but this is less. It is different, and there will be differences. So I deal with these differences. That's the idea of the philosophy behind the U and how it is used in language in general, actually. And it's not different for the Hiragana script. Also there it will focus on what it knows. So of course it will not focus on the failures, on what does not work. No, it continues with what it knows. So that's what you see. have this focus on what shall I use from it, and I use from it only the part that I know, the a part. So I will not focusing on what well can I repeat from it, no, what can I keep from it. So it's like you have two visions and two ideas, and you have a different vision, you have a different vision. What can I use from it? So you not go immediately to the second vision and accept it and so on. No, you see what can I use from it from my viewpoint, from my from what I already have, and then compare it. So that's the way how we deal with things that are different and that are others. We start from what we know and where we will build upon. So that's also how we deal with what is different or what is the other. So there are all the letters, all the vowels in the Japanese scripts are combined with consonants, and there's a certain order in it, and this order is quite interesting actually. It's also an order of focus. So the focus really goes into the same order again and again, and the first combination of the vowel is with the letter K, and that's the question actually. It makes it a questionable position, and it goes to investigate why it is questionable. So what will be focused upon, not upon the mistakes, although we also say cat, with the K and the U in a way. So we focus upon what we do not know, but in reality we will focus upon the part that we know, and we emphasize that part. So what part shall we count on? With K combined with uku. The K letter, as it is expressed here, is more or less expressed how I expressed the K essence in my book, Sound in Form, as the breaking point, where you notice, there's something is going to break, and there is a risk involved, and it can be, it can go wrong if you're not careful. So you have to have an extra attention to follow the situation up, so that you make some adjustments in a certain way that the failures will not be dominating. And that's the breaking point there. It will focus on, there are two options, and this option actually makes a realization that something failed. The next part and the next combination with other consonants is always from the focus forward to the focus. The general focus is the next letter that is combined. That's the letter S, and that's the general support in the background. Here it is the support that also supports us to realize what's going on, what is wrong. Support, S-U, support, what is supporting the idea that maybe it's not so complete as we have. What can we keep? What do we understand? What is our support? What will support us? We will not go to the failures, we will go to the part that will support us. And that's so. You have the horizontal and vertical, which are our foundations, but there's only one part that we can keep from, and we go one step back, we go to that part that we understand. That's how you can understand the letter. Then the next couple of letters, they go and focus upon the different regions. The first region is the region of space, so it's first focus upon what can we understand, what can we truly understand, what is practical, and that's two. There we have that in different language. How you go towards something. In French, to is you. It is, so it goes to the other part, and so it focuses on the part that now this is something we will try to use. So this is useful. So the to goes to the things that we can use in the in the in the limited sense, of course. So it also has this. You see this form. It includes only what is the part that we already know. So what is locally supported? Locally in space, what can be supported? So in the theory, it is about the verticals. The vertical shows the functional placement and functionality in space, what we can use. The next part will be about timing frame. So the next letter will be the combination with nu. So nu, it also exists in several languages. You have nu in Dutch, which means now, almost the same as the English. Nu, the nu also means newt, from newt, from the basics of as a sort of basic foundation. In a way, it says what can be used in time. So that's why now, what can be used in its basic sense. What can it use? What can it support from what we have? It's not a lot, so we will start from almost nothing. We will start from what we can use only. So we have a failure that we don't reach everything in time yet. So we use what we can. We use the minimum. The nu is that part. That's what we are sure of that we can use in time. Then the next one is so the next letter is usually the combination with H. So we should think that the next combination with U will be who, but who does not exist as a combination in that script. It is, but the h is playing in the background. What is h? H is the whole space that you can use, that is vivid and that is useful. But of course, because U is incomplete, you cannot use this complete space. It will be less, and the lesser letter than who is the f here. So it uses only a part of the space that it can use. The useful parts, the fu is the minimal of what you can use in time and space and in the general context. I will not associate words with that, but the fu is, I think it's also prediction. No, that's fa. There's a prediction method which is called fa, not fu. But the fu, you know, with the word with fool, of course, that is true. Here also, it says you cannot use the general sense of conditions in its full perspective, so you have to do it with the limitations in what you have. That's the fu. I'm not sure where it will be used in Japanese, so you can always tell me if this is also, if this matches or not. The next couple of letters, but I know how it is with the letter combination, so it should fit. The next couple of letters, they are building up and seeing, what do we have as results? So what can we get from it? What are the extras that we can derive from it? So even if we start from the minimum, what will be the next thing that we can derive from it? And the next, the first degree of that is coming from space, from the physical part. That's the mu. Mu, I know the word is also used for being tired, also physical condition, which isn't much, but okay, that's beside that. But it is also about physical conditions that are at its minimal. So You have these conditions again that you have, on which you can only use a minimum, and yeah, it almost goes into the earth, and as if it connects to the earth, as if it connects to the earth, and it doesn't have in a physical thing a lot, so it searches for the roots, a certain roots there, so, and it should match with the Chinese and Japanese words that are connected with that. And beyond that, the second stage is not about space and the physicality, it's about timings. That's the next part, should be like, what can we do with something after a while in just a part? It also exists in English, it's you, it's someone else. So after a while we can do something together, I think we can. But that's more or less the sense of it. The why is directing itself in time of something that can be reached in a general sense at some point or another, but not now. And that's expressed like this. So it goes in two sections, and it will connect itself to a point that we will be able to use at some point. And the conclusion of it, that's always concluded with the R. The R is more like the talent to connect things in general, in a general sense. So what's the general sense of what can we do with U, with Ru? Also not much in a way. So the Ru is you have to, it's like rowing with what you have. It's an expression that we have in our language. So we say also roeien, so instead of rowing, we just go along what we can, and that's what Ru should have as a kind of sense, like you have an activity there, but an activity actually with its limitations. And I'm not going to, I don't want to associate Russia here, but there is a sense why this country is associated with domination of something that works with rules and regulations that work from the minimal conditions. When it's cold, it's logical that you use these kind of associations. It's not a tropical foundation in which you can do too much and not be careful about it. No, you have to row with what you have. There might not be enough food, there might not be enough of everything you need, so you have to limit yourself. That's the rule. You follow by the rules. And that's what you have. So you follow, here again, you have these limitations, and you can only use things from the limitations. That's the rule. And I hope also these series were a clarification of the logic that is used behind the letter combinations that are expressed in the Hiragana. And in the meanwhile, you also learn the background of what the theory is expressing in its general sense. Okay, thanks again for watching. There is a website too, soundinformed.com. There are some books there too. And thanks again for watching. Bye.